As we traverse the path of life, each passing year brings with it invaluable lessons, cherished memories, and opportunities for profound self-reflection. The golden years, often celebrated as a time of wisdom and tranquility, present us with a unique chance to reassess what truly matters. It's a period where the hustle and bustle of earlier life stages give way to a more serene existence, allowing us to focus on inner peace, meaningful relationships, and the sheer joy of living in the present moment. Imagine standing at the threshold of this beautiful chapter, ready to embrace all it has to offer. But to fully savor these moments, there are certain habits and burdens we must consciously let go of. These aren't just any habits, they are the ones that over time have silently eroded our peace and happiness. By releasing these 5 specific habits, we can pave the way for a more fulfilling and peaceful life as we age. Have you ever felt weighed down by lingering resentment or found yourself clinging to past sorrows? Perhaps you've maintained relationships that no longer bring joy or held on to titles and pride that no longer define your worth. These are common experiences, especially as we grow older and our perspectives evolve. But what if you could shed these burdens and unlock a life filled with tranquility and genuine happiness? In this video, we'll explore 5 essential habits to leave behind, offering you a roadmap to a more peaceful and joyous existence. Through heartfelt stories and personal insights, we'll delve into each habit, understanding its impact and discovering the freedom that comes with letting go. By the end, you'll not only recognize these habits in your own life, but also be inspired to release them, embracing the present with open arms. So, if you're ready to embark on this transformative journey, stay with us. And as we navigate through these important lessons, feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your stories and reflections are a testament to the shared human experience, and together we can support each other in creating lives filled with peace and contentment. 1. Letting go of resentment, freeing your heart. Resentment is a silent thief, stealthily stealing our peace, joy, and even our health. It's a lingering emotion that takes root deep within our hearts, often nurtured by memories of betrayal, hurtful words, or actions we deemed unfair. Over time, this bitterness can harden into a heavy weight, suffocating our ability to live fully and love freely. Take the story of Evelyn, a vibrant woman who spent years holding on to resentment from a falling out with a close friend. This unresolved anger not only strained her relationships, but also manifested in physical ailments like chronic headaches and high blood pressure. Evelyn believed that by holding on to her resentment, she was protecting herself from further hurt. However, this very act was preventing her from experiencing the peace she so deeply desired. Resentment often feels oddly familiar, almost like safeguarding an old wound. We convince ourselves that by not letting go, we're holding someone accountable for their actions. But in reality, holding on to resentment doesn't punish the person who wronged us. It punishes us. It's akin to clutching a burning coal, intending to throw it at someone else, but only ending up scorched ourselves. Scientific studies have shown that harboring resentment can contribute to increased stress, anxiety, and even heart disease. Beyond the physical toll, it robs us of our most precious asset, emotional freedom. Forgiveness, often misunderstood, is not about excusing or forgetting the wrongdoings. It's a gift we give ourselves, a declaration that the pain inflicted by others no longer holds power over us. It's about releasing the grip of anger to make room for something far more valuable: peace. Imagine the liberation that comes with truly letting go. Picture setting down that heavy burden and feeling your heart lighten, your mind clear, and your spirit free. the act of letting go doesn't happen overnight. It begins with acknowledging the hurt, allowing yourself to grieve, and processing the emotions tied to that memory. Then, gradually, you remind yourself that you no longer live in that place of pain. Forgiveness is an ongoing practice, a journey rather than a destination. Evelyn's story is a powerful reminder of the transformative power of forgiveness. By choosing to release her resentment, she not only improved her physical health, but also rebuilt her relationships and found a deeper sense of joy. Her journey teaches us that letting go of resentment is not about them. It's about us, our peace, and our happiness. 2. Letting go of past sorrows. Embracing the present. The past is a tapestry woven with moments of joy, sorrow, triumphs, and regrets. For many, especially as we age, the weight of past sorrows can feel unbearable at times. These sorrows, lost opportunities, fractured relationships, or the absence of loved ones, can cast long shadows over our present, making it difficult to fully embrace the beauty and promise of each new day. Consider George, a retired teacher who carried the sorrow of a broken marriage for decades. This unresolved grief kept him anchored in the past, preventing him from forming new, meaningful relationships and enjoying his retirement years. George believed that by dwelling on his sorrows, he was honoring his past, but in reality, he was missing out on the joys that still lay ahead. Letting go of past sorrows doesn't mean erasing them or pretending they never happened. It's about recognizing that life is a mosaic of both joyful and painful moments and choosing to focus on the colors that brighten your days. Past sorrows, while formative, shouldn't overshadow the moments of joy and peace that are still within your reach. Imagine tending to a beautiful garden. After a storm, some branches are broken, flowers trampled, and soil scattered. Yet, with care and attention, new life emerges. Similarly, your heart can bloom anew if you allow space for new joys to grow, even after enduring past sorrows. It's about accepting that sorrow is a part of being human, a testament to how deeply you've loved and lived. George's journey towards letting go involved acknowledging his pain, allowing himself to grieve, and gradually shifting his focus to the present. He began to cherish the small joys of daily life, morning walks, conversations with grandchildren, and moments of quiet reflection. By letting go of his past sorrows, George opened his heart to new experiences and found a renewed sense of purpose and happiness. 3. Letting go of meaningless relationships. Prioritizing what truly matters. As we journey through life, the tapestry of our relationships weaves a complex pattern of connections, some vibrant and enduring, others fleeting and superficial. In our younger years, it's easy to accumulate a vast network of acquaintances, friends, colleagues, and companions. The prevailing notion is that more connections equate to a richer life experience. However, as time passes and our perspectives deepen, we come to realize that it's not the quantity of relationships that fosters true joy, but the quality of the connections we maintain. Consider the story of Lydia, a spirited woman who, throughout her career, amassed a wide circle of professional contacts and social acquaintances. Despite her extensive network, Lydia often felt a profound sense of loneliness and disconnection. Her relationships lacked depth and genuine emotional support, leaving her yearning for more meaningful connections. It wasn't until Lydia began to reassess her relationships, letting go of those that no longer served her well-being, that she discovered the true essence of companionship and support. Letting go of meaningless relationships isn't about discarding people haphazardly or harboring bitterness towards those who no longer align with our values and desires. It's about making a conscious choice to invest our time and energy in relationships that enrich our lives and contribute positively to our emotional and mental well-being. These are the connections that offer mutual respect, understanding, and unwavering support, relationships that stand the test of time and distance. Imagine your life as a beautiful garden. Each relationship is a plant that requires care and attention to thrive. Some plants may have outlived their season, no longer adding beauty or vitality to your garden. By gently removing these withered plants, you create space for new, vibrant growth that brings joy and life to your surroundings. Lydia's transformation began when she decided to focus on deepening her existing relationships rather than expanding her network aimlessly. She reached out to old friends, rekindling bonds that had once been strong but had faded over time. She also learned to set boundaries with those who drained her energy or failed to reciprocate her efforts. This shift not only alleviated her feelings of loneliness, but also fostered a sense of belonging and emotional security that she had longed for. Fourth, letting go of empty pride and titles, embracing your true self. As the years pass, the roles we once played and the titles we once held begin to fade, revealing a deeper truth about our identities. Many of us cling to these titles and the pride they once brought us, even as they no longer define who we are. Whether it's a former job title, an accolade, or a social status, these symbols can become burdensome, obscuring the true essence of our being. Take the example of Harold, a retired military officer who spent decades identifying strongly with his rank and position. Even after retiring, Harold found it challenging to redefine himself beyond his military titles. This attachment to his former roles created a barrier between him and his family, who saw him only as a retired officer rather than the loving father and grandfather he truly was. It wasn't until Harold began to let go of his empty pride and titles that he was able to reconnect with his loved ones on a more personal and meaningful level. Letting go of empty pride and titles doesn't mean diminishing your accomplishments or the contributions you've made throughout your life. Instead, it's about recognizing that your true worth lies not in external accolades, but in your intrinsic qualities, your kindness, wisdom, love, and the positive impact you've had on others. By releasing the need to define yourself through titles, you open the door to a more authentic and fulfilling existence. Imagine standing at the edge of a serene lake, gazing at your reflection. Without the distortion of titles and pride, you see your true self, a person of depth, compassion, and resilience. This unburdened self is free to engage with the world in a more genuine and heartfelt manner, fostering deeper connections and a greater sense of inner peace. Harold's journey towards embracing his true self involved a gradual shift in mindset. He began by acknowledging that his titles no longer represented his current reality and that his relationships were far more valuable than any accolade. As he let go of his attachment to these symbols, Harold found a renewed sense of purpose and joy in his interactions with family and friends, enriching his golden years with love and companionship. 5. Forgive yourself and others, the path to inner freedom. Forgiveness is one of the most profound and transformative acts we can undertake, yet it remains one of the most challenging. Throughout our lives, we accumulate not only joyous memories, but also scars from mistakes, regrets, and hurtful relationships. These emotional wounds, if left unattended, can weigh heavily on our hearts, tethering us to pain and preventing us from fully embracing the peace and happiness we deserve. Consider the story of Margaret, a gentle soul who spent years grappling with guilt over a professional mistake that cost her dearly. This unresolved self-blame overshadowed her sense of self-worth and hindered her ability to move forward. Additionally, Margaret struggled to forgive others who had wronged her in the past, further deepening her emotional turmoil. It wasn't until Margaret embarked on a journey of self-forgiveness and extending grace to those who had hurt her that she found true healing and inner peace. Forgiving yourself is perhaps the most essential yet often overlooked form of self-compassion. We tend to hold ourselves to impossible standards, replaying moments when we feel we failed to act, failed to say the right thing, or failed to live up to our own or others' expectations. Over time, this relentless self-criticism can harden into an inner critic that drowns out our capacity for self-love and acceptance. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing or forgetting the wrongdoings. It means releasing the hold that pain has over you. It's about acknowledging the hurt, understanding its impact, and choosing to let go of the anger and resentment that keep you bound to it. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, a declaration that you will no longer allow past pain to dictate your present and future. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones, each stone representing a grievance, regret, or act of unforgiveness. Each step you take is burdened by this weight, making the journey more arduous and less enjoyable. Now, envision setting down this backpack, freeing yourself to walk with ease and grace, unencumbered by the past. Margaret's path to forgiveness involved several key steps. Acknowledgement. She recognized the weight of her guilt and the impact it had on her well-being. Acceptance. She allowed herself to feel the emotions tied to her mistakes and past hurts without judgment. Perspective. She began to view her experiences as opportunities for growth and learning rather than solely as failures. Action. She actively chose to forgive herself and those who had wronged her, understanding that forgiveness was a process, not a one-time event. Through this journey, Margaret discovered that forgiveness was not a destination, but an ongoing practice, a series of deliberate choices to release pain and embrace peace. By forgiving herself and others, she reclaimed her emotional freedom and opened her heart to the joys and connections that life still had to offer. Conclusion. Embracing a life of peace and fulfillment. As we reflect on the journey of letting go, it's evident that releasing these 5 habits, resentment, past sorrows, meaningless relationships, empty pride and titles, and the barriers to forgiveness, paves the way for a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Each act of letting go is a step toward unburdening ourselves from the weights that hinder our happiness and embracing the lightness of being that comes with emotional freedom. Imagine standing at the summit of a mountain, having shed the unnecessary burdens that once held you back. The view before you is clear, expansive, and filled with possibilities. This is the essence of a life lived authentically and peacefully, where your heart is open, your relationships are meaningful, and your spirit is free to soar. By integrating these lessons into our lives, we cultivate a space where peace and fulfillment can thrive. It's a continuous journey of self-discovery and intentional living, where each day presents an opportunity to embrace what truly matters and release what no longer serves us. Your journey towards peace and fulfillment is unique, and sharing your experiences can help others along their paths. Let's continue to support and uplift one another in this collective quest for a more serene and meaningful existence. If you found value in this content, please leave a comment with 1 if you enjoyed it, or 0 if not. Your feedback is invaluable and helps us create more content that resonates with you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insightful discussions and supportive communities. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms, filled with love, joy, and peace. For more inspiring content and to continue this journey together, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let's walk this path of self-discovery and peace hand in hand, supporting each other every step of the way. Thank you for being part of our community. Here's to embracing the golden years with grace, wisdom, and an open heart.